things have changed since my last video. My baby tooth is gone. Let me show you. See? It's gone. I had my baby tooth extracted 2.5 months ago. My orthodontist and my dentist and I kind of together decided that it would be best to just close the space instead of doing an implant. So that's the route that I'm going. And I will say that when I had my tooth taken out, that the tooth fairy did come and visit me, and the tooth fairy gave me $10. That's the tooth fairy over there. I'm actually in the studio. Hey! Anyway, my tooth fairy is the guy, and he gave me $10, so that was really wonderful. So my dentist is actually who took the tooth out. He numbed it first, just like with Novocaine or whatever, like on a long cotton swab, like a long Q-tip, just the outside of the gum, and then did shots, and then he used some kind of a tool. I mean, it was like pliers or something basically, but he just kind of wiggled it back and forth and pulled it out, and it came out. I mean, it probably didn't even take 30 seconds for it to come out. So and as of even like 5 or 6 years ago, I remember whenever I had x-rays done, my dentist would always comment that, wow, the root on that baby tooth is still really long. It still looks really strong and good. Well, when he took the tooth out, he looked at it and he was like, wow, there was hardly any root left. So it's eroded a lot. I'm going to show you right now. Let me grab it. They gave me, this is an actual tooth, of course, but they put it in this cute little case that glows in the dark. So it's the shape of a tooth, if you can't tell. Let me show you this tooth, if you want to see it. It's right there. Let's see if the camera can focus on it. There we go. Oh, let's see if it can focus. Anyway, so there's the tooth. You can kind of see that line midway. That line midway kind of shows what was showing above my gum line and then what was underneath my gum. So apparently that wasn't a very long root. Anyway, so there it is. The space, so it's gone. Okay, so like I said, I had my tooth removed about 2.5 months ago, so I'm gonna show you a picture now of what the tooth looked like, or what my mouth looked like when the tooth was first taken out, and you can see the space is a lot bigger, obviously, because it's the size of a tooth. And then again, here's how it looks today. So it's almost totally closed, and that's why I'm doing that's why I'm doing the update now. I should have done it before, but because we're kind of in the now or never zone, because it's going to be closed really soon. I'm going to go through kind of the timeline just in case you're going through this or you're thinking of doing this, just to kind of get a sense of the timing. For 3.5 weeks, I just had my braces. So I went to my orthodontist, and he took the wire out. Then I went straight from his office to my dentist's office, and my dentist pulled the tooth. And then after the dentist, I drove straight to my orthodontist's office again, and then they put the wire back in, and that's all they did. He had talked about potentially putting on a power chain or doing something else like immediately after the tooth was out, but he decided not to because he wanted to just let the socket heal, you know, make sure I didn't get dry socket or anything like that. So they just put the wire back on, and from that time until my next orthodontist appointment was 3.5 weeks. So for that first 3.5 weeks, I just had the regular wire, and for like a week or so, I was really careful with foods and liquids and stuff just so that it could heal. My dentist said that the healing probably shouldn't be a problem because the root was so short. It wasn't really in the bone very much. But I was still really careful because pain in your mouth is the worst. So my orthodontist was saying, you know, oh, we can, you know, right after your tooth is done, we can start closing the space aggressively, but I really am not self-conscious about it, obviously. As an adult in my mid-30s with the baby tooth in the front, I wasn't self-conscious, so the space wasn't a problem. I didn't mind looking like a hockey player. After 3.5 weeks, I went to my next orthodontist appointment, my first orthodontist appointment since having the tooth taken out, and he did a few different things. I used to have turbos in my mouth. I don't think it was related to the tooth, but so he took the turbos out. And then he put something on the bottom called a power chain. It's basically an elastic chain, just a bunch of links together attached to each other like in a chain, and each link is on a different bracket. So I have the power chain on the bottom, and it's pulling my teeth together to close that space. So it's actually, so you You can see that I have a wire. The power chain is the same color as the triangle elastic, so it's kind of hard to tell. Just makes my teeth look yellow. But the power chain is actually behind the wire, so the power chain is right next to my teeth. So I'll try to show you. Can you see it now? There you go. So he put the power chain on. Let's get focused again. So we put the power chain on, took the turbos out like I said, and then he also added the triangles on the sides. You see that? And I think that's to keep my bite aligned so that my canines line up with each other as best they can, because now my canines on the bottom are coming closer together than they were before. So you can see it kind of keeps the teeth aligned better. See? So anyway, so the triangle elastics are my size, is the zebra size. It's kind of a funky looking zebra, but that's the size that I have, and he gave me a couple of bags of these, and I only wear each elastic once. I always put fresh ones on at night, and then I put fresh ones in after breakfast, and then just during the day I change them out here and there. I don't have like rubber bands on all my brackets because the braces that I have, it's called the Damon 3 system, so it's like a more modern system, and so they're like little gate latch things on the brackets. So anyway, that's why I don't have rubber bands on my brackets. That's how it looks now. Crazy. I have now had braces for about 5.5 months, and my orthodontist was approximating that I would need them for about a year. So in a couple of weeks here, I should be about halfway done with my treatment, which is pretty cool. So far, I'm feeling pretty positive about my decision to not do an implant in the front and to just close the space. Yes, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I'm really making this video because I had way more views and comments on my first video, and so I thought, well, I should do a follow-up video because there are, as I thought maybe there would be, a lot of people who have weird stuff, baby teeth in their mouths too. So if you have made a video talking about your baby tooth, you should put a link to it in the comment section, because I would really like to see it. That would be interesting to see what you're doing with your baby teeth.